our community gathered right here to unveil the Lewis and Clark End of the Trail Monument. It has since become one of Seaside's most recognized and photographed landmarks, a symbol of history and exploration and the enduring spirit of our community. I noticed we have a couple of guests that are obviously very familiar with the actual events from 1805 and 1806 that are represented by this monument. Excuse me, gentlemen. You too? Would you come up here and introduce yourself?
We did. Just hold it up to your mouth.
It's a talking stick.
It's not edible. I know you're hungry for real food.
Okay.
Just hold it there now. Now talk. Yes.
That's
magic.
That's magic. I'm just saying.
More magic.
I guess so. Well, it's amazing to see. This is the most fantastic. This settlement so far away from the United States. It's really amazing. I'm so pleased to see so many people. Thank you for coming. Let me just say that when we make it back to St. Louis, I will be sure to eventually make it to Washington City, and I will pass on all of your regards here to President Jefferson. We must get back to the salt camp that we have south of here. I'm not sure how I would describe where it is. Where would
9/10 of a mile.
9/10 of a mile that way.
At the end of U Street.
Oh, at the end of U Street.
Avenue U.
Avenue U. Well, very good. Well, when we set up our camp there
Yes.
weren't any signs. So what can I tell you? But it's really great to see all of you here. That's all I got to say. I don't think he does.
I will just say, my name is Private George Gibson, and I'm very pleased to see everyone here 225 years or so after we've been here. We're still making sense.
It feels like I haven't left. Okay, thank you very much, guys. So when we're done here, be sure to take a walk down our world-famous 104-year-old promenade to visit their camp. They are there the rest of today, and will strike camp and head back east starting at 3 o'clock tomorrow. I think it'll probably get home a lot quicker than the 6 months that it took them originally. Also note that Fort Clatsop, their winter camp, can be visited at the Lewis and Clark National Historic Park. Superintendent Burpee is here. It's just a few miles to our north. You don't have to walk there like they did.
But you can, if you want.
If you really want to. They are looking forward to planning the 225th anniversary coming up with all of us that are here in the area. Here in Seaside, there is one place that's near and dear to my heart. If you want to hear more about the salt makers and the history of our fair city, and that's the Seaside Museum and Historic Society. And to tell you more about that is their president and director, Leah Griffin.
Thank you, Steve, and thank you for your 11 years serving as the president of the board for the Seaside Museum. You finally gave it up this year. It's big shoes to fill. So I am really appreciative of being asked to come today. And at the Seaside Museum, we tell the stories of Seaside. We tell the stories of our residents, those who've made Seaside their home, and our visitor stories, those who stopped, rested, and enjoyed our beauty and resources. And of course, one of the earliest groups of visitors were members of the Lewis and Clark expedition. Seaside was their farthest west encampment, with the salt makers, as you just heard, who came here to preserve salt, to preserve their food for their return trip. A lot of elk preserved with salt. Would you like to be eating that for 6 months? Yeah, exactly. You can experience that today and tomorrow, as Steve said, 9/10 of a mile down the prom. And it's really interesting to see them work on that. They have to go out and wade into the water, probably up to about their waist, to be able to get seawater that isn't contaminated with sand. So these guys say thank you for that demonstration. It's wonderful. Now, this piece of art, this wonderful piece of art, commemorates that historic visit in 1805-06 and shows the activities and accomplishments of the expedition around the base. Do come and look close at the statue. The artist's depiction of their looking out over the ocean is really a reflection of the hundreds of thousands of people that have and continue to gaze upon the mighty Pacific from this vantage point. For 35 years, people have stopped to admire, take a picture of, and around the corner you can see that they've all given a rub to Seaman's nose, the Newfoundland that joined them on their trip. We thank you, San Juanless, for creating such a moving piece of art, and to the vision of Mayor Joyce Williams, who worked so hard to make it happen so many years ago. Thank you.
Mayor Joyce Williams, who helped lead this effort to bring the artwork to Seaside, is remembered with a plaque here on this side in her honor. And she was instrumental in the improvement of downtown Seaside, and this is kind of the capstone to that project. And now, fittingly, the artist himself will be recognized with a plaque as well that we'll uncover later. Mayor Williams is no longer with us, but we are really grateful to have Steve Williams and her son and his wife Linda is somewhere around here. There she is. Well, she's photographing today. And I've asked him to give us a few words on behalf of the Williams family.
I'd like to thank Steve for letting me know a couple days ago that we were going to have this. And I read this and I said, Linda, look at this. This is going to be about the statue. We got to go. And he invited us to the meeting. So I was really happy with that. I know it is about Stanley. And I met Stanley. And I know it is about money. But there's people behind things like this. And my mother was certainly one of those. Just real quick, as quick as I can be. I know I'm not very quick. She was, for those of you that don't know, I forget because the years have gone by. She was elected mayor 49 years ago, so that's a long time. But she was mayor from 1977 to 1990, 5 terms. And she was the first woman mayor. She was very proud of that. She said, oh, my God, and she was what I consider the instigator and the champion of getting it. Not making it, that was Stanley, but getting it. So real quick, she and my dad were married in 1945 in Portland. In 1947, they moved here because my dad was a chef in the Army, and he wanted to buy a restaurant. So they bought the Little Jim Oyster Bar and Restaurant in 1947, and they had that while I grew up through 1971. So I grew up in that restaurant. How many of you know what that restaurant is? Which restaurant that is now down there?
Leah does.
It's Duger's. Duger's restaurant was our restaurant. And I still consider it our restaurant. Best clam chowder. Anyway, well, my mom wasn't really excited about coming to Seaside, to be honest, because she was in Portland. They got married in Portland. She was from the greater Chicago area. She was a city, believe me. My dad was kind of a hit from the backwoods, but she was a city girl, and so she didn't know about it. But it didn't take too long since they were in business and met lots of people, of course, all the time. And believe me, by the time she moved out of here, a lot of years later, she loved Seaside. She loved everything about it. She was so pro-Seaside. Anyway, another little tidbit was that Bob Poole, Bacon Pancake, he was one of Dad's employees. Dad got him out of the woods because Mary Ann wanted him out of the woods. And so he taught him to cook. And then he started Bacon Pancake, as we know. And then later, when my dad sold the restaurant, then he worked for him. So that was kind of interesting. And then Mom later became the hostess. Well, some of you might remember that. It's a long time ago, so I don't know. There you go. And I think Bob really liked having the mayor as the hostess. I think that was the whole deal. I think that was pretty. He was a businessman, and he knew that would be good. And she loved it. She loved doing that. So, Mom being a business owner, she wanted Seaside to grow. She was pretty progressive, I would say. And I'm sorry. And she carried that throughout her time in public service. The city had some harder times in the 60s. We had some Labor Day riots. I remember that. I actually remember that. Our restaurant down there got a broken window. I remember that. So that was quite a time. And so she was progressive. She wanted, we need to get better here in Seaside. She said at that time that there should be a city pool. There should be a city pool. So in the 60s, PTA moms. She got PTA moms together and they did bake sales. And they started a fund to make a city pool. And eventually, of course, that became the city pool, and then the Sunset Park and Rec District that we know today, just from that. In 1976, she decided to run for mayor, and she won, defeating a longtime incumbent, as I said, held for 5 terms. And in the 80s, there was a lot of progress here, because she and a lot of other people, of course, said we need to make this place better, and that's what they did. The $1 Million Show, some of you remember that name, with the streets and sidewalks all going up and so on in the center of Seaside. The new city hall and the fire station, and eventually the OK, I guess, and the development of what was and the World Mall. Some opposition, but you know, she wouldn't about have to have any of that. And during all this time, my point is, during all this time, really her dream was to do something up here. It was to do something up here because there was just a couple of signs, one after the other, and they weren't that great. I mean, really, they were just signs, like rectangle signs. And she was bound and determined to do something about it. Now, I was gone by that time, you know, I came back and forth, but so I don't really know the funding mechanism for that or the actual mechanics of it. But I figured she would probably get her way. And she did, eventually. So as we know, in November of 1990, that was the dedication. I have some pictures and a couple things if anybody wants to see that, when they were actually placing it, etc. And that, she was so pleased. It was only 2 months before she went out of office in 1990 when that finder was accomplished. So that whole 14 years, she'd been thinking about something up here, and we were so happy to have this be the something that got here. And I was really happy to meet Randy. I was hoping your dad would be here, because I've never met him, but it was great to meet Randy and talk a little bit about that. One final note, after leaving office, so she's not the mayor anymore, 1991, she became the self-appointed monitor of this thing. The condition of it, you know, I mean, she got it there with a lot of help, but she organized a group of ladies for waxing duty, and I'm sure she drove the city works department crazy with maintenance reminders during the remaining 16 years that she lived in Seaside. So to me, she was a great lady, and she loved Seaside. Linda and I have 6 granddaughters, and you can be sure they will know about their great-grandmother Williams. I think it's important to know history to be good stewards of the future. Thank you very much.
Steve mentioned that you know, we had that minor little thing about the riots. If you want to know more about that today, it's over. R.J. Mark wrote a book, and he's over at the library at 2 o'clock. So visit down here a bit and make your way over there. Over the years, many visitors and residents alike have asked who created this remarkable work of art behind me. Because his name's not immediately apparent, it is on the monument itself, but it's around behind at the bottom. There's been some uncertainty. Some people thought Mayor Williams, you know, did the whole thing. Yeah, I guess, but I learned she was an art teacher, so that's not so far-fetched. Right? Okay. Today, though, we are proud to place a prominently visible recognition to the sculptor Stanley Jones. Fortunately, Stan couldn't be here today. He's at home taking care of his wife, Joy. And so, in his stead, I'm very grateful that I can introduce Brandy, his daughter, and her husband, Clarence, is out there taking pictures of all this. But Brandy, we're so grateful that you could be here.
So, my name is Brandy Wanda. So today I have the privilege of speaking on behalf of my father, Stanley Wanda. But before I begin, I want to share his sincere regret that he could not be here today in person. My father asked me to share his gratitude for this celebration and for the kindness of the community that still continues to show him so much love and kindness. My father is not only an artist and a sculptor, but he's also a historian and scholar. His work is layered, leaving much to be discovered. He centers his art around truth and historical accuracy, yet he presents it in such a way that invites the viewer to uncover meaning for themselves, rather than being told what to think or to believe. This is what allows his art to transcend time, carrying its message forward. When speaking of his life, as an artist, my father expressed it in these words: "I am a hopeless idealist and romantic. I believe in the God-given genius of certain individuals, and I value a society that makes their existence possible. I feel a responsibility to history, a great debt to those that came before me, and who improved the world to the point that I may have the opportunity to create." Thomas Jefferson remarked that he was a warrior so that his son could be a farmer, so that his son could be a poet. Life is short and art is long. I would like to leave something edifying of significant beauty, a tribute to the spirit, dignity, and excellence of man. The life of an artist is often made possible in the same way by the toil, sacrifice, and courage of those who came before. Just as Jefferson's words speaks to generational progress, so too does the journey of Lewis and Clark remind us that exploration, endurance, and hardship laid the groundwork for future generations to create, to imagine, and to celebrate beauty. The artist's ability to shape visions in bronze, canvas, or stone is in many ways the flowering of seeds planted by those who endured the wilderness so that others might live in the realm of ideas and expression. On behalf of my father, and my mother Joy, and our entire family, we want to thank you so much, Mayor Wright, and the city of Seaside for honoring my father and his work, for ensuring his legacy, and that it will continue to inspire us. Thank you.
This monument is important also in drawing visitors to Seaside, but not only Seaside, as well to our county. And it's an iconic thing here on the North Coast. People get tired of me saying this, but I often say that Seaside is one of the best areas in the state. You know, I've only been here for 11 years. I'm not smart. It took me a long time to figure out this is where I belong. But each of the cities, too, here in Clatsop County, we're only 25 miles apart. And whatever affects one of us affects all of us. I see one of our mayors here, the Cannon Beach, Barb. I don't know if anybody else made it. But we all work together. What's good for one of us is good for all of us. And one thing that really helps is we've got a county government that helps us fulfill that mission to work together. And today we have Clatsop County Commissioner Leanne Thompson here, who's going to offer a few words.
My name is Leanne Thompson. It's my profound honor to have served as the county commissioner for this artisan site. The other county commissioner is G.O.A.T. I bring you his greetings, his affection as well. He's got some family things going on, so he can't be here. I'm here to speak from my heart, to feel with my heart, to feel the spirit of grace and love that imbues this piece of art so that we can touch it, we can feel it, we can be inspired to be humble, to be grateful, to love each other in the place. And I point out something that matters a lot to me. The foundation of this piece is petroglyphs of the first people who were here to welcome the people who came and built on top of that. So for me, this art symbolizes not only the opportunity for humility and grace and gratitude, enduring affection and respect for each other every day, for each other in the place, it also is a testament to the enduring power of the way we can come together in all cultures, over all time, with all people. I appreciate Mayor Wright for creating this celebration. You have to love a mayor who creates a good celebration that blends a sense of rootedness in history, hope for the present, and ambition for the future, all in one. Thanks to everyone.
Thank you, Commissioner. And we also have a really good relationship with our state representative and our state senator, and they're here today too. We have first up is Representative Cyrus Chadwick.
Hello, everybody. Thank you. Great to be here. Thanks, Mayor Wright. Thank you, Brandy, for representing your dad, and Leah for all the work at the museum, and good to see you, Senator. So happy to be here. Been looking forward to all week. Honestly, this is embarrassing to admit, it's the first time I've seen this fantastic statue, and it's been here 35 years. It honestly feels like it's been here probably since Lewis and Clark showed up. And as a reminder, I remember being a kid and for the first time learning about Lewis and Clark and just how they had gone on this crazy adventure. I can remember that feeling of discovery and excitement about going someplace no one else had ever been before, seeing something for the first time. I can imagine them coming here and seeing the ocean and the beach, and not even being able to imagine what the future held for the coast and what would happen to the future of the country. And but it was worth it to them. The risk was worth it, and that sense of exploration. The statue reminds me of that. I saw something cool around the corner. If you back there, there's the promenade was built in 1920, which was just 6 years before Charles Lindbergh, another amazing pioneer, took off from the East Coast and flew to Paris on a solo flight, another great pioneer. And so this statue just reminds me of all of these great human beings, Neil Armstrong and the like, who were willing to put, for whatever reason, their own livelihood and security and safety on the line for what might come next. And I think for the millions of people who have stood here over over 35 years, generations of families, children, looking at this, that's a reminder of that, like Mayor Wright said, that endurance, that discovery, that courage, that he gave us more than just this giant bronze statue. He gave us a reminder that we can be something more, we can be great if we put our minds and effort into it. And so thank you to Stanley, sorry I couldn't be here, but please say thank you for shaping this amazing statue that is a legacy to that idea and those ideals that we will hopefully have here for generations to come. So thanks.
You said this is the first time you've seen this statue. Have you seen the arrival statue that is out at Fort Placid that Stan did? He did that prior to this. And
As
I'm
a little
talking to my
sidelight,
neighbor
what
here, and he
she
said he had never seen it. How about
Stan
that?
also did, and it was part of the project with Mayor Williams was to raise money by commissioning this separate statue called the Arrival. And there are little small miniatures of that were for sale originally for, I believe, $1,250. And I think if you want one still, you can go to the bookstore at the park and buy it for $3,000, if I remember right. Or you can see the full-size version in the exhibit area. He has several other ones. There's a couple up on the Long Beach Peninsula, and you just need to go to his website, StanleyOneList.com, and find out the other real cool thing he does is he does bronze cars that look like they're flying. It's just amazing. Anyway, sorry, Senator. Next up is a former mayor, so I have a close affinity. She knows what we go through sometimes. Former mayor of Tillamook, state representative, now our state senator, Senator Suzanne Weber.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's so nice to be here, and I have to tell you that every time I go through Seaside, I take this trip up here and around here, and I look at that statue, and I think about where we've been and where we can go, and all of the consequences of their being here and what they did and what they provided for us. And what about the consequences of what we do into the future? Do we have the same fears and concerns as they had? Well, they were just worried about getting back home, having enough to eat, whether they could make salt or not. Think about all the things that we today have to consider going forward. So I really appreciate being here, and I really appreciate this statue because the layers of history that are involved in it, the expertise in creating it, is so fantastic. We should take every opportunity we have to go around, get out of our car, walk up, touch it, learn more every time we see it about our area. So thank you for the invitation to be here today. Thank you, Mayor.
We could stay here another hour talking about this, right? No, we're not. So to wrap up, on behalf of the City Council, we have at least one City Councilor here, Seamus. I don't know if I saw any of the others here. Actually, there's a former mayor back in the corner too, Rosemary Baker Monahan, the second woman mayor. On behalf of the Council of the Citizens of Seaside and all those who value our local arts and history, it's my honor to unveil this plaque that clearly states the end of the trail by artist Stanley One. And I would like Brandy to go ahead and pull that off. Officially, it's unveiled now. We note here today and into the future that your dad's artistry has left a lasting mark on our community, and we are truly grateful. So thank you all. If you want to hang around and chat with anybody, I'm sure lots of photo ops or whatever you want to do. Thank you very much for joining me today. If it had been raining, I might have been the only one here, but it's a nice day in Seaside, right?
Yeah.
Sure to go down and visit the Salt Makers Camp and enjoy the dachshunds that are playing around here. Seaside is a great place to be. Thank you.
That was awesome. That's awesome. I'll just move this a little bit, okay?
Yeah, I just wanted to